Y aun cuando aceptáramos que las causas son compatibles, que es la cuarta alternativa del cuadro, el contrato en sí es de imposible cumplimiento en todas las circunstancias, si no existe un banco central, como acabo de mencionar, capaz de crear la liquidez necesaria en todas las circunstancias de agobio que tengan los bancos privados. Luego sería un contrato nulo también porque es de imposible cumplimiento. A propósito, entonces el Banco Central podemos pensar que es la panacea, que hace posible toda la institución, de manera que no afecte a la economía y garantice los depósitos de todo el mundo. Ya lo hemos visto, los bancos centrales son incapaces de hacer un ajuste de la economía, de impedir las expansiones crediticias. Son ellos, precisamente, además, los que, como responsables de todo el sistema, las generan o las crean, reduciendo los tipos de interés y orquestando la expansión de los bancos privados. Porque la expansión crediticia y la alegría de la burbuja a todo el mundo le encanta. Son ellos los principales responsables. Pero es que además, lo más que puede garantizar un banco central es, creando de la nada dinero, dárselo al banquero para que devuelva el préstamo. Pero no puede garantizar que el poder adquisitivo de la unidad monetaria se mantenga estable o parecido al que tenía cuando yo hice el depósito. Solo pueden salvar a los bancos haciendo dinero de la nada, es decir, creando inflación. Garantizarán en términos nominales, al salvar a los bancos privados, la retirada de los depósitos, pero no en términos de poder adquisitivo, porque organizarán eventualmente una burbuja inflacionaria que disminuirá el poder adquisitivo de la unidad monetaria. Hay un vídeo en internet en el que se comparan las teorías de Keynes, que fue un economista inglés, partidario de la alegría inflacionaria, la banca comercial fraccionaria, la expansión crediticia, y Hayek, que es economista austriaco, alumno de Mises, que explica correctamente la teoría del ciclo. Cada uno explica sus teorías, y vean ustedes cómo Keynes, cómo le presentan a Keynes. Dice que no, que lo más cojonudo en la vida es la expansión crediticia de la banca, y el símil es la borrachera. Entonces se sube Keynes, y venga, la alegría, la fiesta, que es el símil de la burbuja especulativa previa. Se sube en una limusina enorme, blanca, con unas chicas estupendas. El pobre Hayek al lado, no bebas, que esta expansión de alcohol crediticia va a terminar contigo. Y dice, no, es fenomenal, bajar los tipos de interés, aumentar el gasto público, hacer inflación, imprimir moneda, nada de ahorrar, gasto y consumo. Y el tío cada vez más borracho. En el bar además es muy divertido porque los dos barman que le sirven el alcohol a Keynes tienen aquí el nombre. Uno se llama Ben, de Ben Bernanke, y otro se llama Tim, de Timothy Geithner. ¿Saben ustedes quiénes son? Ben Bernanke, el presidente de la Reserva Federal, y Timothy, el secretario del Tesoro de Estados Unidos. Son los que están sirviendo el alcohol. Y luego explica Hayek su teoría y dice, toda esa burbuja especulativa es lo que da lugar a la crisis financiera y a la recesión económica. Y aparece el pobre Keynes con una resaca tremenda, vomitando en el váter. Y entonces, para tratar de encontrarse mejor, coge el tío una garrafa de coñac para seguir bebiendo, y Hayek se la quita y dice, no seas bestia, no hay que inyectar más dinero en las etapas recesivas, porque lo que haces es prolongar el daño y hacerlo todavía más grave.
John Maynard Keynes wrote the book on modern macro, the man you need when the economy's off track. Depression, recession, now your question's in session. Have a seat and I'll school you in one simple lesson. Boom, 1929, the big crash. We didn't bounce back, economy's in the trash. Persistent unemployment, the result of sticky wages. Waiting for recovery, that's outrageous. I had a real plan, any fool can understand. The advice real simple, boost aggregate demand. CIG altogether gets to Y. Keep that total growing, watch the economy fly. We've been going back and forth for a century. I want to steer markets, I want them set free. There's a boom and bust cycle and good reason to fear it. Play low interest rates. It's the animal spirit. You see, it's all about spending. Hear the register cha-ching. Circular flow, the dough is everything. So if that flow is getting low, doesn't matter the reason. We need more government spending. Now it's stimulus season, so forget about saving. Get it straight out of your head. Like I said, in the long run, we're all dead. Savings is destruction, that's the paradox of thrift. Don't keep money in your pocket or that growth will never lift, because business is driven by the animal spirits, the bull and the bear, and there's reasons to fear its effects on capital investment, income, and growth. That's why the state should fill the gap with stimulus, both the monetary and the fiscal. they're equally correct. Public works, digging ditches, war has the same effect. Even a broken window helps the glass man have some wealth, the multiplier driving higher the economy's health. And if the central bank's interest rate policy tanks, a liquidity trap, that new money stuck in the banks. Deficits could be the cure you've been looking for. Let the spending soar, now that you know the score. My general theories made quite an impression. Revolution! I transformed the econ profession. You know me, modesty, still I'm taking a bow. So say it loud and say it proud, we're all Keynesians now.
We've been going back and forth for a century.
I want to steer markets.
I want them set free. There's a boom and bust cycle and good reason to fear it.
I've made my case, Freddie H. Listen up, can you hear it?
I'll begin in broad strokes, just like my friend Keynes. His theory conceals the mechanics to change. That simple equation, too much aggregation, ignores human action and motivation. Yet it continues as a justification for bailouts, payoffs by polls with machinations. You provide them with cover to sell us a free lunch. Then all that we're left with is debt and a bunch. If you're living high on that cheap credit hog, don't look for a cure from the hair of the dog. Real savings come first if you want to invest. The market coordinates time with interest. Your focus on spending is pushing on Fred. In the long run, my friend, it's your theory that's dead. So sorry there, buddy, if that sounds like invective. Prepare to get schooled in my Austrian perspective.
We've been going back and forth for a century. I want to steer markets.
I want them set free.
There's a boom and bust cycle and good reason to fear it.
Play low interest rates.
No, it's the animal spirit.
The place you should study isn't the bust, it's the boom that should make you feel leery. That's the thrust of my theory. The capital structure is key. Malinvestments wreck the economy. The boom gets started with an expansion of credit. The Fed sets rates low. Are you starting to get it? That new money is confused for real loanable funds, but it's just inflation that's driving the ones who invest in new projects like housing construction. The boom plants the seeds for its future destruction. The savings aren't real, consumption's up too, and the grasping for resources reveals there's too few. So the boom turns to bust as the interest rates rise. Where the cost of production price signals relies. The boom was a binge, that's a matter of fact. Now it's devalued capital that makes up the slack. Whether it's the late 20s or 2005, booming bad investments seems like they'd thrive. You must save to invest, don't use the printing press, or a bust will surely follow, an economy depressed. Your so-called stimulus will make things worse. Just more of the same, more incentives perverse. And that credit crunch ain't a liquidity trap, just a broke banking system. I'm done, that's a wrap.
We've been going back and forth for a century. I want to steer markets.
I want them set free.
There's a boom and bust cycle and good reason to fear it.
Play low interest rates.
No, it's the animal spirit. The ideas of economists and political philosophers, both when they are right and when they are wrong, are more powerful than is commonly understood. Indeed, the world is ruled by little else. Practical men who believe themselves to be quite exempt from any intellectual influence are usually the slaves of some defunct economist.
The curious task of economics is to demonstrate to men how little they really know about what they imagine they can design.
They've been going back and forth for a century.